Hello and welcome to another edition of the FLABOTA podcast, hosted by the Fort Lauderdale chapter of ABOTA. My name is Jeff Adelman and I am the president of FLABOTA. Today we have a very important guest on the podcast concerning some of the current events that are going on in the country. We just had a president who was tried in a court of law and convicted of 34 felonies. And there's been a lot of discussion afterwards about the courts, judges, jurors, that has made a lot of attorneys extremely uncomfortable based on what our system of justice and what our entire country is based upon. So it is with, I have the honor of welcoming to the program La'Verne Edney, who is the president of the National American Board of Trial Advocates, ABOTA. La'Verne, it's so good to see you. Thank you so much.
So good to see you as well. Thank you for having me.
Now, the reason why I wanted to have you on the program is you sent out a letter to all members of ABOTA, and it is currently on the ABOTA, ABOTA.org website. I'd like to show it to our people who are viewing this. And if you don't mind just reading it to those of the listeners out there who are not viewing the letter.
Thank you, Jeff. Let me just say, this letter is something that I felt and the members of the rapid response team put together because it's just critical at this time to make a statement such as this. It's sad that we have to do this, but it's very important. It's very important for the work that we do. So we sent out this correspondence that's entitled "Stand Up for Our Justice System, Defend the Right to Trial by Jury." And it went to ABOTA members. And of course, we want to reach more than just ABOTA members with this statement. It says, as trial lawyers, we know that the diligent work of judges and jurors is paramount to a functional democracy. Recently, the world watched as 12 ordinary citizens licensed to listen to 6 weeks of evidence, deliberated for 2 days, and served as judges of the facts during the trial of a former president. The burden of responsibility shouldered by the presiding judge, jurors, and trial lawyers was enormous. Yet the very process that guarantees everyone's rights was attacked. We must stand up for the 12 members of the community who completed their civic duty in the most challenging of circumstances. No single person or entity can control the law for their own purposes. Further supporting that principle, our system of checks and balances, guaranteed by the right to appeal, is ingrained in our history and consciousness. It signifies our nation's respect for the opinions of mankind. It remains our pathway to preserve the rights of all people in a democratic society. ABOTA will not stop fighting for the right to trial by jury. It works. It gives voice to justice. It preserves our humanity. The judge and jurors who sacrificed 6 weeks of their lives deserve our gratitude and respect. As ABOTA members, I hope you will join me in standing strong for the integrity of the third branch of government. We know there is more work to be done. I urge you to actively oppose those who unfairly attacked the citizens serving as jurors and judges who protect and defend our Constitution. Give your voice to promoting and maintaining reverence for our system of justice. It is the responsibility of each of us as leaders of our profession to be active and vocal guardians of the right to trial by jury.
Well, thank you, La'Verne. Can you tell me what compelled you to write this on behalf of the organization?
I think as an ABOTA member, not only as an ABOTA member, as an ABOTA president, as a citizen of the United States of America, we see what's happening. The attacks on the judiciary, the attacks on our civil jury system has just gotten to a point where the public is losing faith in the judicial system. It's because of comments that are being made directly attacking our system of justice. And there's no better time than to speak out when those statements are made, especially by the leaders of our country. People are listening. We want to make sure that we are preserving this very, very important right to a jury system, and we want to protect the independence of our judiciary.
And can you tell the members of the public and attorneys who are listening to this what the Rapid Response Team is all about at ABOTA?
Okay, so the Rapid Response Team is a group of, it consists of past presidents, future presidents, and other members of ABOTA. And that team is charged with looking out for anything that may impact negatively, unfairly, our system of governance. And that committee takes their job very seriously. We cannot respond all the time to everything that's being said. We have members who call upon us to do that. However, when we see opportunities where it is imminent that we need to make a response, we do that. Jeff, I'm not sure if you recall back in March, we made a general statement because comments were coming so frequently against our judiciary and against our judges that we made just a general statement supporting the judiciary, the independence of the judiciary. And that statement can be found on ABOTA's website at abota.org. We place all of our statements there. And we try not to just reach the ABOTA members, but we try to make sure that those letters and those statements go out to a larger audience as well.
Who makes up the American Board of Trial Advocates?
Okay, the American Board of Trial Advocates right now consists of about 6,500 members of trial lawyers from across the country, equally divided, almost equally divided between plaintiff and defense lawyers. There's a criteria for being accepted as a member in the American Board of Trial Advocates. It not only consists of a minimum number of trials that an attorney must have, but it also consists of a component that I think makes ABOTA unique. And that is, we want lawyers who are civic minded, who believe in our civil justice system. These attorneys that make up ABOTA are lawyers who practice in front of juries. They know the importance of juries. They know the importance of our judicial system. And so I think that makes ABOTA really unique. This organization started back in 1958 with the idea of bringing together like-minded attorneys who practice in front of juries and who know the importance of maintaining the jury system.
Can you tell me a little bit about ABOTA in terms of, is it a political organization?
Absolutely not a political organization. And we do our very best to make sure that any statement that we make is not about politics. It is about supporting the judicial system. We are not a political organization. We do not condone that in any shape or form. And so the answer to your question is no, politics is not a part of this organization. We know that we have members from each political party. And so we respect that in every way.
And I think it's important for members of the public to understand, are judges allowed to respond to public criticism of somebody who maybe is not happy with a ruling?
Judges are not allowed to respond. And I think that gives even more credence and importance to what we do as attorneys and part of the American Board of Trial Advocates. I have had the pleasure of going to different conferences and meetings where there have been judges who have offered their gratitude for the role that ABOTA plays in supporting the independence of the judiciary and speaking when the judges cannot speak for themselves. So our role is very, very important.
Absolutely. You know, one of the talking points that Donald Trump has been talking about is this gag order that Judge Merchan put in. And I thought it was interesting that he excluded himself from the gag order, but put it for jurors and for the attorneys in the courtroom. Not the lead prosecuting attorney, but the lead prosecuting attorney and the judge were not in that gag order. I don't think a lot of people know that.
Yeah, and I'd like to kind of steer away from speaking directly on specific things that our former president has commented on and suggested.
Sure.
And just generally say, we know when things are not fair, and we know when our judiciary is being attacked. We know when jurors are being attacked. And when we see those things, that's a direct attack on our democracy.
I think that a lot of people don't quite understand how jurors are selected as well. It's not a situation where you get to just pick the people you like. I know you're an experienced trial lawyer yourself. Can you just tell us a little bit about what voir dire jury selection is?
Absolutely. So the process of choosing a jury can be quite intense. At times, choosing a jury could take longer than the actual trial because both sides want to make sure that they choose a fair and impartial jury to hear the arguments for both sides and present a verdict that is fair. And so jurors are not chosen arbitrarily. And when they sit in that box, you can assure that both sides are pretty much okay with who's sitting in that jury. And if they're not, there's a process that attorneys have to get the judge to either listen to arguments regarding that. There are appellate processes if you get a verdict that you don't agree with. That is our system of governance. And so it is not just an arbitrary choosing of someone randomly. We get to ask questions. We get to ask a lot of questions. We get to make sure that the jurors that are sitting there can listen to both sides, that they don't have any major prejudices against either side. And so I believe in the jury process. I have won cases and I have lost cases. And there are some cases that I've lost that I thought I should have won, of course. But there's a system that's in place to appeal those times when you think you should have won. And it's not to get on any national platform or even privately and attack the jury or the judges. We should not do that as civil and civic-minded attorneys.
We get to a place where that becomes the norm, I think the entire system could collapse. And that is a concern for me. I'm sure it's a big concern for you as well.
A major concern. It is a major concern. And it should not just be a concern for attorneys. It should be a concern for the citizens of the United States. We have a very unique system. I think we have the best system in the world, actually, because we allow people, our peers, to sit and listen and determine what should be done in our cases. And that is a unique system that we have to protect.
No question about it. Let me ask you this with regards to judges are not immune from any criticism. It's just certain types of criticism are not really justified or fair. Can you speak on what would be acceptable criticism for a judge, whether it be from an attorney who is unhappy or a defendant or a plaintiff for that matter?
Well, Jeff, we're very careful when we issue statements, and the mandate of the rapid response team is to support the judiciary against unfair criticisms. That unfair portion is arbitrary, of course, but, and of course, the First Amendment right, anyone can say anything that they want to say. But when a judge and a jury are unfairly attacked, I can't quote specific instances where I can suggest that a judge should have been attacked or things should have been said. But there have been rulings that appear to be rulings based upon politics. I don't condone speaking specifically about any judge, but I do think that we should make sure that all judges comply with standards of ethics, to make sure that they understand that this is not about politics. This is not about race, gender, anything. We should make sure that we are complying with the U.S. Constitution and the laws of our country at all times, regardless of politics.
I know when I go into court, I want a judge who's going to call balls and strikes the same way. Even if I don't like the rulings, if I know that I'm being treated the same way as my opponent, that's what matters.
That's exactly right. And that's what we all look for as trial lawyers, to make sure that we have an even playing field when we walk in the doors of the court.
Well, La'Verne, I mean, you're, you know, in your year as a ABOTA president, it's quite an honor. Do you want to talk about some of the programs that you are working on right now, and anything you would like the ABOTA members to know?
Yes. Well, first of all, let me say that I am extremely honored to serve as the president of the American Board of Trial Advocates. As you know, Jeff, I'm the first African-American female to serve in this capacity. It has been one dream come true, the opportunity to talk to judges and jurors and other attorneys around the country about the importance of our system of governance, about the importance of the judicial system. Just recently, I went to a juror appreciation luncheon that was held in California. The Orange County chapter did that program, and it was phenomenal. It's something that I would love to see our chapters do around the country. It's a program that just shows the jurors that we appreciate what they do, that their job is important. We have, through the foundation, created stickers. You know, you have stickers that say, I voted. We have stickers that say, I love jury service. And any judge around the country can get those stickers. Some of the programs that we have in place this year, we have a new committee called the AI Committee. We know that AI is kind of taking over in every space, and especially in the legal profession. So we have a committee that is chaired by our President-elect, Jennifer Doan, that's putting together a program where all of the national organizations can come together and talk about, you know, solutions, problems as it relates to AI, how we can utilize those in the future. And we also have our ongoing programs. We have a trial college going on right now in Reno, Nevada. And that college is put on along with the ABA, where we invite young and up-and-coming trial lawyers to come and get trained by professional lawyers or lawyers who have specialties in trial practice. We're going to continue to do that. We have a journalist law school that's coming up in August in Los Angeles. Back in March, we had a media law school where we are educating the media on how to respond to certain things as it relates to legal issues that appear in the news. And so we have a lot going on. I am visiting as many chapters as I can. I hit the ground running in January. I have visited many chapters around the country. We've had our international meeting where we heard from an attorney in Greece talk about their system. We were able to ask questions and provide CLE there. And then we have a program coming up in September in Germany, where we'll hear from the American German Association, where they'll talk about their system there and ask questions of us, so we can compare notes on, the different ways to do things better. So as you can see, we have a lot coming up. I could go on and on and on about the different things that we've done. I'm excited about this year. We have 2 other meetings coming up, national meetings. One this month in Seattle, and then in October, we will have our last national board meeting, and that will be in Nashville.
Great cities to hold them in, and it's an organization that means a lot to me, and I know that it means a lot to you as well. It's, made a real impact in the quality of the people that I meet in ABOTA. I mean, it makes you proud to be a lawyer when you are across the table or across the Zoom from a ABOTA member, because you know that they're abiding by the rules that we've all sworn an oath to uphold.
That's right. And Jeff, before we end, I'd like to just comment. I am so very proud and pleased to be able to visit chapters like the FLABOTA chapter, who was a finalist for our award. We will find out who will win that award, but all of the chapters who are finalists are winners in my book because of the incredible work that's being done around the country.
Well, very proud that my chapter, Fort Lauderdale's in there, and we got Jacksonville in there too. So 2 from Florida, so we got a good representation from the state.
That's right. That's right.
That's excellent. Well, if anybody has any questions or would like to reach out to you, what's the best way for them to contact you, La'Verne?
Well, they can contact me directly to my email, which is La'Verne_Edney. I'm sorry, La'Verne.Edney @butlersnow.com. That's my law firm. We're located in Ridgeland, headquartered there. It's Butler Snow Law Firm. You can go on the website and you can find me there. Or you can call me on my cell phone, 601-906-6812.
La'Verne, I know that you are very busy. In fact, I know you're traveling right now. So thank you so much for your time and being with us here today.
Thank you so much, Jeff.
I also want to thank our friends at Trilogy Trial Consultants, trilogytrial.com, who make us look good every time we do this podcast, do all the editing, and for any trial support or technical needs, Trilogy Trial Consultants. And of course, my tag team partner, my producer, Mitchell Chester, who I couldn't do this without. Thank you so much for listening, watching. Until next time, this is FLABOTA President Jeff Adelman. Be well, everyone.
Thank you.